me, but yes. Oh my goodness. Hi, everybody.
Is it Sunday already?
When I tell you I don't know how it's August 3rd, I
No.
mean that from the depths of my
That
soul.
does not compute with
I
me.
do not know
Not compute with
how
me.
in the hell it is August 3rd.
Wow.
I don't want to brag, but we both showered. Both of us. Not together, mind, but we both showered. Is my hair's doing the weird, look at that. Look.
Huh. Well,
it says, screw you, gravity. That is really ridiculous. Oh, what a day to be alive. Happy Sunday, friends, and everyone else who's also here. Let's see, is it going? There we go. Now it's kicking in. I can see us.
Kicking in.
Okay. I pin your post.
I pin your post.
I pin your post. I'll tell you what, I'll pin your post in a second. Oh my, how are we this Sunday? And has anything blown up? Because every few minutes, yesterday was move-in day at Daisy's school, where the parents come and we help sort of put the classroom back together.
Preschool.
Yeah, and we put everything back together again. Hang on one second. Oh, there we go. Instagram wasn't working properly, and now I know that. So yeah, all the parents come and we put everything back into the classroom and we sort it out, and it's fun and makes you smile, sort of getting all the toys back out and putting all the sweet little decorations up for the kids. And yes, Mabel? Oh, Mabel has a Chewy and Logan doesn't.
We'll hear more from them.
Which is serious in this house.
We'll be hearing more about
that. But it was really, really sweet to do. And it's nice to be with all the parents as we get everything ready. And I can't believe that school is, and by I can't believe, I mean, I'm thrilled, but I can't believe school is just in a few days. When I tell you how excited I am that school is coming back, I mean that from the depths of my exhausted soul. One of the craziest things to me.
My school is only 3 weeks away.
Yeah, that's true.
USC.
That is true. Yeah.
I teach Thursday nights.
Yeah.
So this year, August 21st.
Yeah. Oh man.
Will be my opening
So
class.
soon. Where does it go? But yeah, it's really interesting to me to see how much all of the kids have devolved in the 2.5 months that they've been out of school. Again, and I'm talking about like 3-4-year-olds. But it's like because they've gotten so used to being stimulated in that way in a classroom and all of that, they definitely right now are struggling and they miss it. So yeah, I'm very, very excited for us to be back there. Everything's working. That's what I like. Are you team Jesus Christ Superstar or Godspell? I'm going to be honest with you, Ken. I don't really care about either one. Are you bringing it up because of the Jesus Christ Superstar at the Bowl happening at the Hollywood Bowl? Because many people we know are there, have been watching and are thrilled, which is great because there's never a bad time for live theater. But I don't really care about either of those. You?
Not a lot. I saw Godspell when it was new. I remember that's where I first saw Victor Garber.
I love Victor Garber.
That was the original Toronto cast.
I love Victor Garber.
And he's great.
Yeah.
Great talent. But I don't know. I don't have I'm not on either team. I'm agnostic.
There you go.
I'm agnostic when it comes to those two movies.
Well done. That was very funny.
Thank
well
you.
Done, you.
It took an extra second. Extra beat there. I'm glad you think it was worth it.
Robin is going to be up at the Edinburgh Fringe. I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. You know I love my Fringe. It's very, very special to me. There too, I can't get over. So the first time I went was 2004. That's a while ago. I don't know if you count stuff.
That's 21 years ago.
Yeah.
21 years ago.
That was my first time, and it changed my life.
And you went back.
And then I went back in 2007, and that's the year I met my husband there. And that year, 2007, that summer in Edinburgh, absolutely changed my life in every possible way because my closest best friends, who remain my closest best friends, many of them came from there. And to think that we've now known each other for 20, which means I've known my husband for 19 years. and all those friends. And it's just, it's incredible. It's a lot now. Obviously, it's much more chaotic than it's always been chaotic, but now it's a lot more. But yeah, I'm jealous, and I'm so happy that you're there. Nick is saying hi from Manchester, UK. A up.
And Sebastian is writing us from Scandinavia,
Amazing.
saying that having read my books, among others, I'm sure, he is today working at a film archive doing restoration.
That's amazing.
On 16 to 35 millimeter film. That's the highest compliment you could possibly pay me.
Yeah.
And
wow.
and what congratulations.
Yeah.
See,
and thank you. Thank you for what you do. It's vital.
Yeah.
Stainen and all the kids are in Iceland, and they found an archive there. One of our friends of ours who are from Iceland went to visit with the whole family, and one of them is an archivist working in film at the Academy, and the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences. And they found an archive there, and she went and dug around and was having the time of her life, which was wonderful. Thank you. I'm glad you like my dad's Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. He placed it there just for your amusement. So you are welcome.
I have for someone who doesn't really care very much for those Oswald cartoons.
You like Oswald's stuff.
I like Oswald's stuff very much.
You have not a lot, but a bit.
Well, there isn't a lot, but
yeah. But since that's the one thing that I would say DCA brought us, Disney's California Adventure, is because when you walk into Disney's California Adventure, which is the park across from Disneyland, they made it Oswald themed at the front. And so you now can actually get Oswald merch, which is why you have this, because this is not old. Yeah. Ta-da!
They made a few products then, very few. A tracing kit for kids. I forget what else. But in the past 25 years, since Bob Iger reacquired the character for Disney Inc., they've had a little fun with him. Oswald is Mickey with long ears. I mean, let's face it.
I do love the ears that they have at the parks.
Yeah,
the Oswald ears.
Oh, yeah.
They're really fun. That's
as a concept. That's very funny.
Yes, they're very funny. Hey, Jesse and Leonard. I'm at the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures, getting ready to see Independence Day in 35 millimeter at the David Geffen Theater.
I don't imagine it's any better than 35 millimeter.
Hey, it's a great film. Okay. It's a great movie, all right. You just don't remember.
My favorite line of dialogue is where the First Lady.
I have two. You love that one?
Yeah.
You love that one. I love Welcome to Earth. That's my personal favorite. And if you don't know the movie well.
What kind of dancer are you? Ballet? She's no.
Exotic.
Yeah.
That's Vivica A. Fox's line. Yes. Exotic. I deeply love Will Smith punching the alien in the face, going, "Welcome to Earth," and punches him. Oh man, it's so good. You don't care for either Disney's or Lance's shorts, or both?
Well, the Disney shorts are from the late 20s. They're still of what I would call the primitive period of Walt's output, and they're they're trying things. They're feeling their oats.
Yeah.
And some of them are well animated. Some of them are clever, and a lot of them are just run of the mill. I mean, you wouldn't. I think you'd.
Sit up. I'm going to put Hopalong Cassidy behind you. Okay. There you go. Sit up.
I think you'd find the Felix the Cat cartoons of the same period superior, just offhand. And the Out of the Inkwell cartoons that Max Fleischer did too.
Yeah. Nancy says, hello from Ohio. I bought the Great Movie Shorts book when I was about 13 in the 1970s and have loved Leonard ever since. Thank you for that.
Thank you. I'm putting my hand on my heart.
All right. I will tell you one of the craziest things about my dad having chosen to do so much before I existed is that it's a trip when people will bring books over or will show you something, a photo, whatever, before me. And it's just, yeah. I mean, you have some of your books sitting here.
Yeah.
Will you give me Disney films, please?
This is an abridged.
Yes. Is a little
mass
guy.
Market.
But, you know, when people come up with stuff like this, it's pretty wild. You know, it's pretty wild to look at stuff that, as I say, has existed longer than me. And yeah, I always love that. And I really appreciate your saying something like that to him. Asking if we like the sequel to Independence Day. I don't think it's terrible. It's been a really long time since I've seen it. I don't think it's terrible, but it's not very good, is it? Most things don't need a sequel, just in general.
In general,
very few things.
If you've told the story well and it comes to a conclusion, that should be the conclusion.
That should be it.
Yeah.
And it's one thing when you plan ahead. It's one thing, obviously, if you're planning ahead, then there's, you may leave a cliffhanger, you may have something else. But if you don't, and then you're like, the end, just kidding. It never works. I also love that almost without fail, the first movie will be, again, not always, but like these two people fall in love, right? It's their epic love. It's the person they want more than anything. And then in the sequel, they've broken up. Like almost without fail. So you spent a full movie getting two people together. And then the sequel comes out and you go, just kidding. And you're like, but really?
Having invested, which I did not want to do, having invested 6 hours in Untamed.
Yeah, I wanted it to be better. I know.
With your mom.
I know.
And it said to be continued. What? What? I was getting tired of it by episode 3.
I know.
And I like Eric Bana.
No, everybody in it's fine. It's not a cast issue. Yeah. It's just not great. Craig's asking if you listen to the TCM podcast.
I've started to, and it's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And it is certainly, as someone else pointed out, certainly a case where the stories about the making of the movie
are sometimes better than
the
actual movie. 1 second. Nick says, I sometimes wonder about Iger's perspective of sequels. Well, yeah. Larry says, I remember the first time I saw Jessie, she was in a stroller being pushed around Cinefest in Syracuse, New York by Sweet Alice. Leonard was running the auction. Both of those things are absolutely accurate. Many people remember me from the stroller. That is a very common statement. It's funny. Again, I turned 39 this year, right? And when you tell that to people, I know. When I tell that to people who have known my parents forever and have known them before me, I've seen some fainting. It's a lot to take in. But it's also why I have about 7,000 surrogate aunts and uncles, because I was kind of one of the only kids in our group of friends. I was one of the only kids there. So I just sort of became the kid. And there are many worse things than having all those crazy people around you.
We had a bond. We had a rather unorthodox bond.
Still is. People still give us crap.
And we went, about 10 or 11 of us went on many cruises together when I was lecturing on cruise ships.
Oh, that was great. That was a great time for all of us. My personal favorite, of course, being whenever there would be trivia on the cruise ships. And you had all of these people who could nail anything movie related. If there was a movie trivia, done. Anything else, they've definitely stuck to what they stuck to. Evan says, hey, Leonard, great panel on Thursday at Comic-Con.
And he should know.
I wonder who that was with. Yeah. No, you guys were great. You were so much fun. You had a blast.
Mark suggested we do a panel. This is Mark Evanier, Gay Blade, Man About Town.
My hair is making me crazy because it's just sticking
writer,
up straight.
Producer, director. He proposed that we sit together and exchange anecdotes and stories about cartoonists we've met and admired, and comedians that we've met and admired. And the time just flew.
It was great. And you had a great audience and they were really into it, which is all you can really ask for.
Yep.
There have only been a few good sequels, especially in the last decade, being released that were either good or great as far as I'm concerned. Well, this is the thing. There are a handful, and it is only a handful of good sequels. And when done well, I'll always bring up Addams Family, because the second Addams Family is fantastic.
Yeah.
Both of those movies to me could not be more perfect. Right. And I would really like them to just leave the Addams Family alone. Wednesday is one thing, because at least it's a whole other world.
Right.
I don't love the show, but at least it's another world.
Yeah.
Every time they try to sort of do another Addams Family, like properly it just doesn't work, because they're perfect. Those movies are perfect.
Not in the same league, but Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, there's some good ones.
There are 4 of them, and they're all good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a very small handful. Obviously, I will always be partial to the Mighty Ducks, but that's because I grew up with that. Uh, anyway, it's something I was reading today, and I wanted to ask you guys your thoughts on this. There's a whole conversation going on. First of all, we know that studios are spending too much money on movies, specifically these big blockbusters, but just even in general at this point, they're spending too much money on movies. Why do we say that? Because then when they come out, if they don't immediately make $700 billion, they're failures, which is insane. Because if it was a regular movie or a different time and your film made, let's say, $80 million opening weekend, you'd go, holy hell, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of people who actually went to see it. It's an amazing experience. And also there's still that feeling of going into a theater and the lively, the aliveness of that. Though, as we know, sometimes great, sometimes terrible, because people don't have manners anymore. But still, it's the idea. So a big conversation happening right now is that I guess the second weekend of Fantastic Four dropped significantly. First weekend did pretty well. Second weekend did not. And so there's this whole conversation people are having about they put Superman and Fantastic Four too close together. They shouldn't have released them so close together. Basically just everybody's sort of
Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. Going through and saying, well, here's how this is. Well, part of what's crazy is that, again, you're looking at them saying a failure is $80 million.
Yeah.
$90 million.
Yeah.
It's a failure because you spent $300 million. That's why it's a failure. It's not a failure necessarily because it's bad. It's a failure because of that. Kevin, it's 65 to 80% drop. Yeah, for Fantastic Four. Now, in general, the reviews that I've read for both Superman and Fantastic Four have been good. Not necessarily, I haven't really read any that are love. And even just seeing our friends talking about them, people like them. They like them. I haven't heard anybody go, these were awful, none of that. But sort of like, okay. And this is where it comes to, you had Barbie and you had Oppenheimer, which became the weirdest double feature, I would say almost ever. One of the strangest double features ever, right?
Yeah, but it accrued to both of their,
Yeah, they were smart. They got into it, and that became part of what was so fun.
They co-opted it. Was
that they sort of, once they realized what was happening with Barbenheimer, they started having a good time with it. But it's just the idea, so it's not that a movie has to be spectacular necessarily. People do want to go to the movies.
Well, in our sort of bailiwick Disney animation, The Lion King was such an unbelievable, freakishly successful animated feature. It made like $500 million on its first release. And it took them all by surprise. And suddenly, everyone's view of animation changed in Hollywood. I mean, it was almost overnight.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, now we're talking serious money.
Yeah.
We know Disney's been making money with these things, but
now they really made money.
That's when everything sort of went kablooey.
I'm also going to make an animated movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when the next one, which was Hercules, which we both liked a lot.
Not liked, love. I love Hercules. It's one of my favorite, not just Disney movies, but movies. And the soundtrack to me is like perfection.
And I don't remember what it made, but it made something like 190 or something like that. And they considered that a flop.
Which is insane, especially because of, I would say, the staying power it has.
Yeah.
It's still popular. There's been a whole thing where they cast, it's on one of the cruise ships. They're doing it as a musical now. As I say, I think that it's a very strange situation where, because again, you're spending, and then Robin is saying the whole thing with Jurassic Park. So some people are saying, well, people all went to see Jurassic Park. It's like, well, yeah, in part because people wanted to go see Jurassic Park. There haven't been, there have been new ones in the last few years, but they're sort of spaced enough that I think people still wanted to see it. Now, that movie, I didn't meet anyone who liked it. Again, some actually really hated it. Most just sort of thought it was fine. Gray hated it. Gray hated it. But it's like, yeah, that did make a lot of money. People obviously wanted to go see it. I think it would be fair to say that at this point, most people do not want more Marvel DC superhero films at the moment. I think it would be fair to say people are burned out.
I don't think that's an unreasonable conclusion.
Yeah, I think they're burned out.
And they've been talking about this for several years.
Yeah, I know. I'm not the first person to say it by a long shot.
I still think it depends on the quality of the film.
Yeah.
Of
course it does. Of course it does.
There have been some good ones amidst the bad. Not bad. There have been good ones amidst the mediocre.
Yeah, but there's just so many of them. And then because, especially with Marvel, because they've done the whole spinoff into Disney Plus, where you now also have all these shows going on, it's just a lot. It's a lot, and it's a lot all at once. And part of course, what is strange with streaming is that it's really easy to forget that it exists. So Scott and I watched the first season of Loki, and we liked it. Second season came, and he just sort of... My husband is not devoted to TV the way I need him to be, because I'm like, yeah, let's watch another episode. Well, he goes, meh.
You're avid enough for both.
I am avid enough for both of us. That's fair. Unless it's Black Mirror, he doesn't want to binge usually. But he just sort of went, yeah, we can watch that. Same thing. We watched was it called She-Hulk? We watched an episode or two. It was fine. But like, there's just so much, and you're so inundated. And then again, at the same time, because things are on various streaming services, not everybody's talking about it at the same time.
Yeah.
And so what sort of happens is, and obviously, again, this is true just with press in general, is for, let's say, a month, you are bombarded with press for a movie or a TV show. For a month, it is everywhere, and it's overwhelming, and you kind of want it to go away. And then it does go away, and then it's almost like it never happened.
Jamie Lee Curtis is everywhere.
Yes.
Right now.
Yes. For Freaky Friday.
For Freaky Friday.
As is Lindsay Lohan. Yeah.
Yeah. And the press screening is tomorrow night. And
are you gonna go?
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
And as you say, in 2 weeks, she'll be clipping coupons again.
Yeah, she'll be gone. Yeah.
It is sort of this tremendous tsunami, bad taste. Tsunami of exposure.
Yeah.
That is fleeting. It's fleeting.
Well, I mean, it's over and over again. Look, the Wicked thing. Like, I didn't really like the Wicked movie. I thought it was fine, but I didn't really like it all that much. And I already am not a huge Cynthia Erivo is insanely talented, not a question. She's not the nicest human being. And I don't often talk about those kinds of things because I don't like to add to the negativity. But she's been so miserable to so many people that I know that I'm a little feistier. But it's like, between all those interviews, it's like you're getting hit in the face, and I just don't have the energy for it.
Yeah.
But as I say, I mean, who of you went to see Fantastic Four, and who saw Superman? And did you like them? Would you recommend them to other people? As I say, neither one, people weren't really, I didn't have someone going, oh, you have to go see such and such. Whereas that does happen, obviously, every now and then somebody will see it and they'll go, oh, you need to go see X, this you need to go see. And I haven't had that experience in a little while. Now you and Mommy will be in Telluride in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Which is very much how that word of mouth works.
Is that a few weeks?
Yes, man, I know. It's crazy, but we're in August. How the hell did that happen? But film festivals are very much word of mouth. Certainly, very much word of mouth when you're at a small festival, and Telluride is small. So what happens is, while you're standing in line or you're walking down the street, you see one of your friends, and you go, oh, I just saw blank and it was fantastic and you need to go see it. And that, it really gets your juices going.
Sure it does.
Because people coming out and saying, wow, this was amazing. You have to go see this. That is, especially if you're a film lover, that's like gold. Oh, they just had this great reaction to it. Oh, it's really exciting for me. I want to go see it now. I love that.
It's one of the great appeals of Telluride is that everybody's thrown together. And when Sean Penn came with his film into the
River?
No.
Mystic River?
No, the one he directed.
Into the Wild?
Yeah. He said to me, he said, I've never been able to see a film at a film festival.
Yeah, that is.
People weren't hassling him or stopping him for selfies.
Yeah.
And so he had a very good, positive experience.
Yeah.
But that's true of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't get to ask a question at the formal, panel or formal Q&A,
you might see them just walking around,
or you might be online for coffee with them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beauty part.
And
then a lot of that word of mouth comes from people you don't know and you will never see again.
Yeah.
You're just fellow movie lovers online.
Yeah. But that's all part of it. And that's the joy. And that's the reason why film festivals still matter.
See, New Yorkers say online, West Coast says inline.
I say whatever the hell you like, because it's the same. But what happened to Emile Hirsch? Emile Hirsch, unfortunately, is a lot to handle. And a lot of the studios don't want to deal with him anymore, unfortunately. He's so talented, but he's a little crazy. And they just don't want to deal with that.
So we're told. Allegedly.
Not alleged.
Just trying to protect her.
Yeah, sure. Oh, I'd love to see. Come for me. I have nothing. Come for me. I have a child. You would have to take the child. That's all I own.
Nothing will ever top Christopher Reeve. My Australian partner in our other enterprise, our podcast called The Movie Guide, Guy Davis, he and I, both continents apart, revisited the 1978 Superman, which I hadn't seen since it was new.
Mm-hmm.
What a terrific movie. What a wonderful movie. And Christopher Reeve is just...
He's perfect.
Perfect. And it moves. It doesn't drag anywhere. Would I have chosen to make Lex Luthor kind of a farcical? Well, no. But that's the choice they made, and they make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And his appeal is just stupendous.
Yeah.
Now, I grew up...
But that's how I feel with George Reeve. That's how I feel with him. I grew up
watching the TV show.
Yeah. And he's perfect to me. He's perfect. I do wonder, I've never looked up to see how tall he actually is. But to me, he was this tall, handsome gentleman who carried himself beautifully. Yeah. And I just thought, that's Superman. That's Superman all day long. That is what he looks like. That is how he moves. And again, it's something that I've talked to you guys before. We see characters in our heads, and that is sort of who is your James Bond? Who is your Batman? Who is your Superman? All of those things, because when you close your eyes, you see someone. There's a Superman in your head.
Yeah.
There's a character in your head. And does the person who is cast fit that for you? Which is why all the time people are always talking about, oh, so-and-so could never be Bond, or this person couldn't be this, or this person couldn't be that. Well, because in your mind, you know what you think the character looks like.
Looks like Sean Connery.
But yeah. Or Scott's favorite is Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's my husband's favorite.
He's been good.
Yeah.
He's been good.
But the other thing that my husband always says is that he feels like that the Pierce Brosnans were some of the last cheeky Bonds, where they'd still make the inappropriate jokes and still do that kind of stuff. He feels like that was still then. Thank you. Both Ken and Arthur are telling me that George Reeve was 6'1", which is exactly what he was in my head. So good job, brain. I love that. But yeah, watching those serials, Buster Crabbe. Who else could be Flash? It looks like, if again, close my eyes, Buster Crabbe is who I see. Also that name. Why, God, why? But, one of my dad's favorite villains is Ming the Merciless.
Ming the Merciless.
And one of his favorites.
Played by the great Charles Middleton, who had that theatrical, thunderous voice. Why, you? I can't do a good imitation, but he just had that
way about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you grow up with? What do you see? What are these characters for you? And yeah, I think that it's really tricky. A few of you asked, my dad has not seen Superman. Again, we To recap, if you haven't been with us, my dad got very sick, was in the hospital, has been home, is recuperating and doing much, much, much better, but did not leave the house at all for 6 weeks leading up to Comic-Con. Comic-Con was our first outing.
They inserted me
dumped you in the car, and then I drove you through the hotel to a bed and threw you on that bed.
And then rented a wheelchair.
Wheeled
me around the convention floor.
Wheeled him all over the place. It was great. But this week, well, so officially now he doesn't have to wear a bandage on his foot, which is very exciting. No more bandaging because all the wounds have healed. Yay, wounds. But so that, yeah, we're going to try to maybe see Superman this week.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to see it too.
High on my priority list. Yes.
Yeah. So fingers crossed, we will.
Michael Keaton, who I interviewed as a Maltin Modern Master at the Santa Barbara Film Festival about 5 or 6 years ago, told a great story. I said, was he aware of all of the heat and all the backlash,
negativity
that was out there from fans when they read that he, known mostly as a comedic actor, was being cast as Batman? And he said,
"Oh, hi, Logan."
He was at the time commuting back and forth from London, where they were shooting, to his home somewhere out west, because he was in a custody battle and wanted to be with his kids every minute that he could.
Yeah.
And they were using the shuttle. He
had there's a newspaper or something.
The Concorde.
Yeah.
The Concorde shuttle flights, which made the flights a little shorter.
Okay.
So he picks up the copy of the Wall Street Journal. And if you've ever seen Wall Street Journal, they don't have photos. They have line drawings of the people that they write about. And very distinctive. And he picks up a paper, and there he is in a line drawing. And he read the article, and of course it said,
"We hate you, get out."
Yeah.
Come here, Mabel.
And he said when he got back on the set in London on Monday, it really threw him.
Of course it did.
And he started to question his characterization and how he was approaching the role and all that. And of course, all those people were complaining, had not seen 1 inch of film.
Yeah.
Had no basis on which to judge his performance.
I don't know if you guys remember the time when the Reverend Jesse Jackson was in charge of telling people whether or not they could see a movie. But when I was like 10, 11, 12 years old, somewhere in there, if a movie was being made that had a black cat, sorry, we're being bombarded by dogs. If it was a black film, Jesse Jackson would tell you whether or not you could go see it or whether it was racist. Without having seen a single frame, they would go on and say, "We can't believe you're making whatever. We can't believe you've done this and that." And you think, really? Really? You haven't seen it. How do you know? It's like that massive backlash for Bradley Cooper's nose.
Yeah.
You're like, why?
In Maestro, when he played Leonard Bernstein.
Why are we having it? We're seeing it out of context. Why are we having this conversation? The only thing you should all be upset about is Melissa McCarthy's makeup in The Little Mermaid, because that was atrocious. That was unforgivable. But it's like, how can you judge these things? You haven't seen them. You don't know. There's a movie that I love, controversial slightly, called The Ringer. Remember this, Barry Blaustein? And it's about an able person who joins the Special Olympics because he thinks he can win money easily, only to find out that, no, you can't. These are real athletes. You have no idea what you're doing. And immediately, of course, there was, before it came out, massive backlash. How could this be there? Well, when you see the movie, no one is being made fun of. The able-bodied people are the ones being made fun of. These people are athletes. They have incredible skills, and it just gets me. Don't complain about it till it exists, watch it. And then you're allowed to hate it. That's fine. You're allowed to do that. But before you've even seen it, come on, John, I agree. John says Feisty Leonard is the best Leonard. You have no idea how many times I've said that. So many times. Feisty Leonard. Same if he hates a movie. I love his movie reviews when he really doesn't like something. Not just dislikes, like really doesn't like it because it's feisty, and that's my favorite. You make Jesse Jackson sound like Nat X, Chris Rock from SNL's The Dark Side. He makes everything from pool to chess to various animals seem racist. That's what it was at that point. It was exhausting. I'm so sorry. I'm doing a terrible thing and I keep playing with my hair. It's because it's slowly but surely pointing further and further outwards and I can't stop staring at it.
Stop.
I know, right? What have you watched now that you are back and you've been TCMing?
Well, we watched one really entertaining limited series, as they call them, The Stick. Or is it just called Stick?
Mm-hmm.
Stick, with Owen Wilson and Mark Maron and a few other recognizable people. And it's about I don't know, Judy Greer. It's always welcome in any film.
Yes.
And it's a very entertaining show. It's a half-hour installments. It's not a sitcom, but it's a comedic story with dramatic undertones about a once phenom of a golfer, Owen Wilson, who blew up his own career. And you find out why as the story goes on, why and how. But he spots a 16-year-old kid who reminds him of himself. That was Logan licking my toes.
And you were not, yes, understood.
Yeah. Which is not what he always does to my toes. Anyway, it's very entertaining. It's very entertaining and very well done. Shot in Vancouver. And everybody's good. It's entertaining. It leaves you wanting more.
What's it on?
It's on one of the channels.
One of the streaming channels. Yeah. I'm going to look because I want to know.
Whereas we watched Untamed.
Not very good. You said we wouldn't. Yeah, I know. So many good people, just not very good. Apple. Stick is on Apple.
Apple Plus.
Stick is on Apple.
Apple Plus.
I'd attempted to watch Hunting Wives. Thought the first episode was so god awful, I wasn't going to stick with it. Then I had a couple of friends say, "Oh no, it's trash. You'll love it. Like, just keep going." So I finished it yesterday. When I tell you that I don't know who wrote the script, I could look it up, but I'm not going to because I don't know who you are. But if you can get that made with that script, the possibilities are endless. No person should worry that their work isn't good enough because, oh my God, the lines in this movie, Daddy, it's enough that the story is ridiculous and weird and makes no sense. The dialogue, multiple times, Daisy fell asleep and multiple times I had to laugh out loud and not wake her up because it was just like, did you actually just say it was atrocious? But man, I watched we have this over and over again. You watch stuff, and now in this case, this did not start off good and go bad. This was bad the whole time. Yeah. But
usually they peter out. They start off with a promising idea, and they can't sustain it.
Yep.
Or they don't have a good conclusion point in mind as they begin.
They had a good idea, and then they never fleshed it out.
Yeah.
I have a theory, and I will tell you now, it has yet to be wrong. As soon as the F word starts getting used with frequency, it's going downhill. I have never been wrong about this. Watch something that you love. Like, let's just say, did you, what was it called? His Majesty's Secret Service, whatever the hell. It was the one with Taron Egerton. It's not on Her Majesty's Secret Service. I can't remember what it was called. Anyway, the first one's fine. It's nothing special, but it's fine and it's cute. The second one is awful. And in it, they use the F word every 5 seconds. Yeah. Just every 5 seconds. When you watch a series or a sequel and they start using the F word a lot, it means things are going downhill. There's a show called The Summer I Turned Pretty. Mm-hmm. It's in its last season, which is good because they have stretched like nobody's business. Kingsman. Thank you. It was the Kingsman. And this last episode, they said the F word more than they probably have in the entire series.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's how you know. They've run out of words.
One of the most satisfying moments of my recent TV binging was the season 4 of The Bear, which for once had an ending that made sense, and for once had all its many tributaries, streamed together into a single finale that actually made sense. And I very much enjoyed that show.
It's not over, is it?
Yeah.
Was that the last season?
That's it.
Really?
Yep.
All right.
Gone now. Bye-bye.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Even Ross Backrack's now one of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. I do love him. Glengarry Glenn effing Ross. Thank you, Larry. I'm just, look, it's one thing in a movie if there's a lot of foul language. I have no problem with that. As I say, it's that there are times, and you will notice it, when they start saying it over and over and over again. I promise they have stopped being, they don't know what they're doing anymore. And they were just like, we need a filler word for everything. And then they just say F, 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 F over and over again. And I always go, okay, it's time now. This whatever this is needs to end. And as I say, I've never been wrong with this one. It's just lazy, isn't it? It's just lazy.
I think so.
Because look, curse words, when used at appropriate times, are fine. They're great. I love them.
Which is why when David Mamet did use them,
yes,
in Glengarry Glen Ross,
yes,
they landed. They made sense.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like, there are things where absolutely that's, you get the gangster talk or whatever. Right. But even there, if you use it too much, it still starts to you become numb to the word. After a while, it just doesn't mean anything because you're saying it so much.
Oh, a first sighting of me introducing Sunset Boulevard this weekend.
Hey, amazing.
Big screens from coast to coast.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks to Fathom Events. Or Fathom Entertainment, I think they're now called.
Yeah. Yes.
And but it's my great pleasure to get to do that. Last month was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and they're putting these terrific films back where they belong, on a theater screen. And if you have a chance to see one of these classics or modern day classics with an audience in a theater, darkened room, larger than life, no distractions, seize that opportunity, because it'll give you an experience with that movie that you can never duplicate. And once you've had it, you can revisit it on TV, having had the experience of seeing it big.
Well, when they started doing more of that, even with live events, like my grandma, my dad's mom, who lived in New Jersey, when they started putting the opera on in movie theaters.
Opera,
that was wonderful for her. She couldn't travel, especially as you get older, it's harder and harder to travel. New York City is not an easy city. If you are able-bodied, it is really not an easy city if you're not. And so she would go and she'd see these shows, and oh my God, it meant so much to her. She loved getting to do that. And as I say, it's the magic of seeing something special with other people. It's why an audience can be a great experience.
Yeah.
Because you're all doing it together. You're all laughing together or crying together or gasping together. I'll never forget seeing The Sixth Sense in a theater. We'll never forget it. Do you remember how it went?
I remember that I was surprised like everybody else, but I don't.
I sat with Mia. It was one of those things where we were like, we're going to sit by ourselves in the movie theater. So me and my friends sat probably like 3 rows or something ahead of you and Mommy. And your gasp when the reveal happens was yours, obviously other people in the theater, but it was just so funny. It was just so funny because, again, it's what a neat thing, especially because that movie it still is so good. And when you put it together and realize what's going on, you do have that, and listening to everybody, it was, it's something I remember. Similarly, I remember seeing Liar, Liar in a movie theater with Teddy and her parents. And it was one of the first experiences I'd had where people were laughing and falling out of their seats. where I was laughing so hard my stomach hurt. And again, in a big theater, that was such an experience. That was so much fun, so much fun.
James, I did get to meet Stan Lee
Mm-hmm.
on more than one occasion. We had a mutual friend who enabled us to meet him and his wife at a dinner party in a very casual, informal way. And I'd run into him now and then. He sent me a note saying that he was a big fan of my movie guide, my paperback movie guide. But he said, since you credit the author of a book that is the source of a movie and the playwright who wrote the stage play that became this movie, shouldn't you do the same for comic book movies? And I wrote back and I said, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
So I did. And then just when
a little after we got married.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right after you got married 10 years ago, I interviewed him for some publication in his office. And his office was full of his favorite movie posters, The Adventures of Robin Hood, Errol Flynn, stuff like that, things he grew up on. And I asked him to sign a poster for Scott,
my husband.
And he wrote it to Super Scott.
To Super Scott. And it's in our room. It hangs framed in our room. And he was absolutely, my husband is the comic book nerd in our house. He knows all of that. He loves all of that. And it was a very big deal for him. And it was so kind. It was such a kind thing for him to do. And we really appreciated it.
Sorry I never met Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
Sorry to say.
Legendary, though. I said to my wife halfway through Sixth Sense, I think Bruce is dead and ruined it for her. Didn't mean to. Ken, and you're still married? That should tell you something. She really loves you. I asked because the other day we were talking about what your dream double features would be. And I really liked your answers. So we asked again today. And I want to go through some of your answers here. Let's see. One second. Oh, separately, Matt, it says, just revisited The Stuntman on Peacock, such a cult classic that many didn't appreciate in its day. Do you have a favorite film about movie making?
The Bad and the Beautiful.
Mm.
Written by Charles Schnee, directed by Vincent Minnelli, Kirk Douglas, Lana Turner, Walter Pidgeon, Dick Powell. Wonderful. Music by David Raxon. Wonderful, wonderful movie.
Emily says, I'd love to do a double screening of Dial M for Murder and Home Before Dark.
Huh. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Kevin says, Sons of the Desert and Way Out West.
Well, you can't go wrong there.
Or An American in Paris and Funny Face.
Two American movies set in Paris.
Yeah. Steve says, Pink Floyd, The Wall, and Evita.
Ha!
That's an interesting combo. I like that. Yeah. I like that very much. Jonathan said Raiders of the Lost Ark and Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade. Yes, well, we can happily have all those sorts of marathons. Very easy to have those together. Ken says Deer Hunter and Bambi. That's just mean, Ken. That's just mean. Yeah. It's,
now what is it? That Porky Pig cartoon, the film fan.
Yeah.
Has all sorts of 1939 movie jokes. Be sure to see Honeymoon in Bali with the Old Maid.
Lottie's saying that she watched The Breakfast Club at cinema and everyone did the air punch with Judd at the end. See, like that kind of thing, it's doing it together and laughing and yeah, there's just very, as I say, a good experience. Again, it's why live theater is live theater, because the experience you share with the people around you, whether you're laughing or crying or both, it's precious, and it's something that you don't forget. For all of the movies we've seen, I would say right. There's still, you can pick out very specifically, like, oh, I'll never forget.
Oh, I like some of these ideas. Bowfinger and Tropic Thunder. That's a good double bill.
I like that.
That's a good double bill.
I like that. The Thin Man and Libeled Lady.
Both wonderful films. Both.
Ben says March of the Penguins and Saw. I think you'd have to do Saw first, so that then when you watched March of the Penguins, it would be less upsetting. But I like that very much. Young Frankenstein and Haunted Honeymoon.
I might give you a little argument there. Young Frankenstein with anything is fine, but
never a bad time.
Haunted Honeymoon. How about that?
Maybe Young Frankenstein and Honey, I Married an Axe Murderer. What's it called?
Yeah. So I Married.
So I Married an Axe Murderer. Yeah. There you go. I saw Flashdance at the Arrow. Everybody cheered right after Jennifer Beals' climactic audition.
How can you not?
That's what I mean, though. It's these moments. It's why you have something like Rocky Horror that has the following it does, where people go and they do things live. Same thing. The Room here in LA. The Room was for so many years a staple of being in Los Angeles and going to see it. And there's this whole line of things you're supposed to do. You throw something at the screen, you do this, that, the other. People, they really, at the end of the day, they really do enjoy being together in those kinds of moments,
My mom took me, this is when I was still a budding movie buff and couldn't drive yet. And she took me into the city and we saw a double feature of David Lean's Great Expectations with John Mills and Gene Simmons and all those other wonderful people, Al Guinness. And then Sunset Boulevard. And in the opening moments of Sunset Boulevard, as William Holden is creeping around Gloria Swanson's house for the first time, he says, it was rotting with decay. It looked like that woman, old Miss Havisham's house in Great Expectations. And it's just a throwaway line. But having just sat through the 2 hours of Great Expectations, it got a wonderful laugh, not a snarky laugh, but an appreciative laugh.
Bring It On and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I like that. That's very funny. Adventures of Robin Hood with Robin Hood Men in Tights. I do love Robin Hood Men in Tights. I love Robin Hood Men in Tights. Really, Al Brooks. Al Brooks.
Huh?
That was Mel Brooks has such an effect on me, on us. So one of my friends who went to see Jesus Christ Superstar last night made a joke about this is a really strange setup for Follies staging. He just made and I laughed. And he makes the same jokes that we do because his parents are also East Coast old Jews. And because I have been raised in this humor, it's just as soon as it happens, I'm losing it. We talk about, it's like because I grew up on Laurel and Hardy, all I have to do is see them to start laughing.
Yeah.
With Mel Brooks, it's like, it's just so damn funny. And there's all these little moments that are so priceless and so funny that some people are not going to find funny at all because they don't know the joke. And that's also something that I will always appreciate. I have a great deal of respect for Seth MacFarlane for many reasons. He's very talented. But I love that he puts jokes into Family Guy and American Dad that he knows 4 people are going to get. He knows they are, but it's damn funny when you get them. And he does a lot of musical theater jokes, which I love. I don't have a touchscreen. You're like Daisy. It's not a touchscreen. What would you like me to scroll to?
Scroll back up. It's just something I wanted to comment on.
Just like Daisy. Yes, which... Clue... Tron, Ready Player One, Captain EO.
No, that the revival of Sunset Boulevard did more business than the 2 new releases this weekend at the theater. That
we have a lot of showings of the movie Clue here in Ohio. They often get more people than Hollywood movies. Sunset Boulevard had more people today than Fantastic Four and Naked Gun.
No offense to those films, but this is encouraging. The fact that there's a product shortage, and they can't pack their screens with stuff from every studio on earth, has forced exhibitors to do revivals, and people are going. This is nothing but good news. Not that I don't want to see the industry ramp back up.
No, of course, but it's just the idea. Say like Sound of Music is going to be playing soon. Fathom is going to be doing Sound of Music, and I would really like to go. It's been so long since I've seen it on a big screen, and I would love to see it on a big screen again. I'm sad Daisy's too young. She's too young to do it right now. I would love to show her it that way. kind of like I'm excited for her to see Seven Brides, Seven Brothers on a big screen one day, because that having had, for me, with that being my favorite movie and having had the experience of seeing it on a big screen more than once, priceless. Only problem I had was I had to not sing, and Mommy and I were the last time we saw it was at TCM, and she and I are sitting next to each other, and you're going and you're trying really hard not to, but it's just perfect,
Well, and one of those times was Jane Powell.
That was the time.
Yeah,
that was the one. The photo I have of me, my mom, and Jane Powell, if I could have taken off into the air, I would have. I am smiling so hard because I was so deeply excited about it. Because she's, I've loved her my whole life, but especially as Millie, I couldn't. That's like, I never got to meet Doris Day. You did. And I don't know what I would do if I saw her. I don't know what would happen. I think my body would probably combust if I ever saw her. My whole body I would just be on the floor in a puddle. Is that how you felt?
Meeting her?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was trying to act cool.
Yeah.
My thing is, when I meet somebody like that's kind of got an overpowering reputation,
yeah,
and is not easily available.
Yeah.
I want to try to act as
normal as possible.
So that's my MO. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That day it worked pretty well.
Yeah.
But I found out that she's not an anecdotal person.
Mm-hmm.
She's not somebody where, if I said Michael Curtiz or Jack Carson or any of those people,
she doesn't go into a story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this, obviously, my dad has been interviewing people for much longer than I have. But something that I learned really quickly with you doing our podcast, is that some people are just not great talkers, or they are not good at going into stories, or they're not conversational. There are some who sort of answer the question and then there's a period and they wait for the next question.
Larry Smith, gold star next to your name, the producers and the in-laws. That's a good double bill.
I like that.
Yeah.
But it's the reaction we have.
Anyway, we're sitting here next to a
one of my favorite pieces you ever got.
One of the last pieces that I bought before we moved to this house.
Yeah.
A friend sent me the link to this on eBay. Somebody had a pocketbooks store display.
Here, I'll turn this phone first so we can see.
From the late 40s. Intact.
So cool.
Like it just came out of the...
Yeah. When this arrived at our house, I didn't know what it was. And we were unwrapping it, and it took like 3 of us
10 pounds of the bubble wrap
to unwrap the whole thing, because it's big. And we finally got it open, and my dad looked like a little kid. He looked like a little kid. He was so happy.
Well, not only that it has all the not embossing, this is debossing intact, where on each line or each shelf it says history, poetry, art, classics, Kathleen Norris, Faith Baldwin.
It's a ton of detail, and it looks beautiful.
Ernest Haycock's Westerns, Max Brand Westerns.
It's so good, and it's in such good condition.
And I knew immediately what I had to do. I wanted to fill it with paperbacks of that period, movie tie-in paperbacks. And the 2 most interesting ones, I think, are this one by future film director Delmer Daves, and who maybe made a couple of extra $100, turning this screenplay into a novel. And if I can reach it easily, here we go. This one, a Western by Luke Short. I'm sure not his real name. Max Brand. None of those Western writers use their real names, except maybe Ernest Haycock's.
Yeah.
And the reason I like this so much is that I also found, it's hard to show you.
I'll turn it again.
A poster.
Hang on here.
A poster, not for the movie
Let's
that
see.
this is based on with Dick Powell.
Yeah.
But for the paperback.
Yeah.
No, you can't get it high enough to do that.
Where is it?
Of Buck Jones, right? Way up
Yeah,
high.
yeah. You can sort of see it. Not very well.
Yeah.
But I'll turn the phone to see it as well. One second. There you go. Technology. So he's talking about that one there. Too much good stuff. Too much good stuff.
Fun.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's I would say I love your stuff because it brings you joy. And I derive joy looking at it because of that. I think that it's really neat to see sort of how much meaning the different pieces have for you. And in so many cases, obviously this is a newer acquisition compared to other pieces you've had forever.
It was in Pennsylvania. The seller was in Pennsylvania. It said local pickup only. And I wrote an imploring note saying, I've fallen in love with this piece. Could I persuade you to go to your local UPS store and I'll pay whatever it costs to have it wrapped and shipped? And they said yes, which was very nice. And it did cost more to ship than it did to purchase.
Yeah.
But
I say getting it out was like a joke.
It's paid me back.
It was so, I just remember there was bubble wrap again and again and again and again and again, and it cracked us up. Yes, John, we know about the Casablanca sled because Casablanca, I am too tired. I stayed up until 3:30 in the morning watching a documentary because I made the terrible mistake of starting it. And then stayed up till 3:30 in the morning watching the rest of it. And I shouldn't have done that. The sled from Citizen Kane went up for auction. Let me tell you about that. It's our friend Joe Dante's sled. And when he and my dad was it Paramount that you found?
Yep.
That he found it?
Half of Paramount Pictures, or what is now known as Paramount, was RKO Radio Pictures. They had a common wall. And when Desilu and Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball purchased that studio, the physical plant, it became Desilu. And then Paramount bought Desilu. So they owned both studios, took down the wall, got rid of redundant things like a cafeteria and mills and things like that. But the basement of the building where I worked on the RKO half of the lot for Entertainment Tonight, I was there 24 years on that lot. The basement was prop storage. And apparently it was alphabetically arranged. And some friends and I did dumpster diving every now and then when they would clean things out. One day it was H, everything to do with horses.
But you didn't take the sled, did you, Leonard?
Didn't see the sled.
Which sold for $14.75 million. Yeah.
But
$14.75 million. My reaction immediately was Joe is taking us all to dinner.
Joe was about to direct a film called Explorers on a stage right candy corner to us. And he went downstairs to that basement to fill the props for a junkyard scene or junk dealer scene. And he went with the prop master, which is the prop master's job. And he saw that sled and said, look at that sled. The guy said, oh, you can have that. So it's in Explorers. If you freeze frame, it's about to pan shot, as I recall, to the left. You'll see it in the film, and he used it a couple of times. And yes, not only do I remember when Doug Moore, late cinephile Doug Moore, did his very exact replicas, I own one of those replicas, or we own.
Do you remember that you used to let me sit on that thing? Now that I know what it was, I can't believe you let me play with it.
Well, I can't believe I did that either.
You did.
That was foolish.
Yeah. I was gentler than Dave. My child is a destructive child. She is a beautiful, perfect angel, and she can break anything in about 7 seconds. And I just never broke anything. I guess I was gentler on toys. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe your collector genes are stronger in me, And because they've been diluted more to my child, she is less aware of the collector gene.
I will ponder that.
I'm just, the speed with which she breaks things. No. You also, though, you had a number of things I could play with very easily. Do you remember which ones I took the most? Your Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, and your Tonto and Lone Ranger, and they were plastic, so I could play with them.
They're Heartland toys.
Mm-hmm. I could play with those, and that never was a problem.
And you lost or misplaced, I think, Dale's hat.
Did I?
Her cowboy hat, her cowgirl hat, and I found one online.
Did you really?
I was able to replace her hat online.
And you let me stay. You let me live,
yep.
And you let me stay.
Yeah.
That says a lot about you. Dick Ban is saying that he also bought one of the Doug Moore sleds. $125. Yeah, but if you sell it now, it's not worth $14.75. Reading that story, as I say, the first thing that I said was Joe's taking us all out to dinner, but $14.75. It's the second highest paid for movie item. The first being
the Ruby
Slippers, which was like $35 million. I read this the other day.
Huh.
That's like the highest bid that they've gotten on something like that. $14.75 million. He's going to buy so many vests. He is going to get so many new vests. I'm excited for him. Good grief. Good actual grief. Just wild, you know? But this is the thing about collecting. And this is why my parents have always said, you have to collect what you like. You cannot collect things because you think they will be valuable.
Every time I've tried to do that, it has failed miserably.
Mm-hmm. What was one of the most valuable posters that you had, that you sold?
A Three Stooges poster, which wasn't even in full color.
That, and it's not a great, like, it's fine. But compared to some of the stuff, compared to the stuff you have, he has this Great Adventures of Captain Kidd post. It's beautiful. This poster, good grief, I need a nap. This poster is beautiful. The color is beautiful. The way it's held up, it has a little bit of wear and tear, but really not a lot. This Stooges poster he sold, it was like, what? But that was worth something because someone has to buy it. You can have amazing things, but if nobody wants it, it doesn't matter. You know, it just doesn't. So you have to buy the things that you like, that make you happy.
Yeah.
And if one day you choose to sell them and they are valuable, that's great. But you can't buy, when I was a kid, they tried to tell us that Beanie Babies were going to be the thing, that you should buy the rare Beanie Babies because someday they will put you through college. They did not. In the event that you were wondering, they did not. It's crazy to think about who comes up with this and says, I have an idea. Let's get people to buy these things and tell them that someday they will be extremely valuable.
I really can't complain. I've had great success turning some.
But you love everything you have.
Well, I do, but
you know,
there's some things I don't get to show or display. And after a certain amount of time, I say, well, I could part with that.
Yeah. Well, the number of stills you've collected and the posters you've collected, you have so many of those. And you do want them to be either displayed or displayed by someone else.
Yeah.
You know, because they should live. They should live and enjoy. I still think my idea was right. I used to say that we should make the pool, put posters all along the bottom of the pool, because at least then you'd get to see them. I was vetoed on that. But I just kept thinking there had to be something we could do with all your posters. But Nancy says, I'm a dedicated Three Stooges fan from the age of 5 years old, thanks to my dad. I will never like the Three Stooges, which I would say is one of the only disappointments in our relationship.
Yeah, well, it's a mild one, a mild disappointment. Someone asked who the cowboy is framed just above us. That is the great Tom Mix in the 1932 jigsaw puzzle, which is assembled, obviously, and was promoting his final series of Universal Westerns.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot.
Brian is asking when you're going to do another New Beverly weekend. That's a good question. And
Well,
you should come up with, now that
yeah.
you are recovering,
Yeah.
now that you're not going to lose a leg, they'll reach out and you should do it. So you won't be investing in Labubus to pay for your daughter's college tuition, right?
But I'm happy that I got the Beanie Babies of Droopy and Screwball Squirrel.
Those are Beanie Babies?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Droopy's right there.
But he's not a Beanie Baby, is he?
He is.
I don't think so.
Well, I have the other stuff on a card.
Does it still have? Does it still have a tag?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Trust me.
I don't.
I know you don't.
I don't. I'm excited to go stare at it. I didn't think that Beanie Baby did those. But who knew?
And they did Screwball Squirrel.
That's understandably. I mean, how do you live without it? Is Kit Parker going to put out one more Charlie Chase DVD with Limousine Love, Movie Night, and Modern Love, his only feature? Have you seen Modern Love?
It took me a lifetime to see Modern Love, but I finally saw it at the Cinecon because Universal had a copy.
Hey.
And it's not very good.
Yeah, Nick's agreeing with me. I don't think they're Beanie Babies. I'm going to go look. The suspense is killing me. I'm going to go look. Where is it?
On top of my computer monitor.
Oh, here. Warner Brothers Studio Store. It's not Warner Brothers Studio Store.
Okay.
It's not a Beanie Baby.
Okay.
It's not. I don't like calling you a liar.
I surrender.
But it's not a Beanie Baby.
I plead ignorance and I surrender.
You think I wouldn't know if they made a Beanie Baby a Droopy? You know how many we'd have? Please. Leonard, I didn't know you loved jazz. Did you ever listen to weekly Sunday radio broadcast on WFUV called The Big Broadcast / did you ever meet the DJ Rich Conate?
I did meet Rich Conate once or twice at the Hotel Edison when you came too. When we used to go to see Vince Giordano and the Nighthawks. And I still have recordings that I made of his broadcast, the Big Broadcast. I listened to them. They gave me endless hours of pleasure.
My dad used to hand record certain shows, radio shows. And it was like a, what do you call it? Ritual.
Yeah.
You'd go into that room and you'd hit it at a certain time and record stuff by hand, as one used to do. Ryan's asking, did you like the Warner Brothers Studio Store better than the Disney Store? Two completely different things because it's two completely different sets of characters. Yes, Nick, I remember when Disney tried to do a version of Beanie Babies, and I still have a number of those. I love those. I think they're great, and they've held up really well. They're some of my favorites. I can't see Jesse Maltin screaming at or attacking another parent to get a doll for Daisy. Depends on the doll. No, interestingly enough, she doesn't have, there's a word, I don't know who started using the word lovey, but it's like the thing that a kid sleeps with. They call them loveys. She doesn't have one. I think I'm her lovey. I think I'm her comfort toy.
I think you are.
Because she doesn't really have any toy that is like the toy. Like if this toy got lost, the world would end. She doesn't have one.
And she loves Alice and me, her grandparents. Loves us to pieces. But there's no substitute. And she loves her dad too.
Yeah.
There's no substitute for mom.
I don't know. She would murder for you though. In the morning when she wakes up, the first thing she wants to do is get to grandma and grandpa. And she usually wakes up about 7:30 in the morning and I go, baby, they're sleeping. And she's like, cool, but can I go upstairs? I go, no, you can't, honey. They're sleeping. All right. I'm just going to go upstairs for a minute. They want to see me. And then I have to basically chain her down. I can hear her with grandma now, actually. Yeah. She must have come upstairs. Anyway, it's so nice to be with you guys. Oh, hi, Mabel. It's so nice to be with you guys. As always, we will be back next week, and I hope everybody is doing well.
Be good to yourself. Try to stay cool and be kind. So long.